Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake the Fuck Up podcast. I am Major Hemroid. Uncle E might be in and out. So, what do we have for you today? Oh, this might be interesting. This might be fun. So, I was at work today, hearing a story, and I started laughing my ass off because it reminded me of back in the day. The many years ago that I was living younger. Not quite as wise, but younger nonetheless. So I was sitting there thinking about Simpin being pussy whipped. See, this is a little bit for the women, but mostly for the men out there who are thinking they're in love, or they end up dipping their wick and falling head over heels in lust for someone who really just was there for a one and done. This is for you to teach you what not to do. Because I learned from a very young age, from all of my father's friends, that falling in lust was not a smart thing. I also listened to a lot of comedians who made the jokes about being married and being in relationships, and the main one I used to listen to was, and still do quite honestly, I pop up his clips every once in a while, watch the reactions from some of the modern generations. His name is Sam Kinison. Okay, Sam Kinison, Kinison. He was a very hilarious comedian. He screamed a lot. He talked about his bad relationships from his point of view, and he also used to be a preacher. So you can imagine the mixture of entertainment value that's going to have. And he talked about his relationships, his marriages, and just how things went, and how some of the rebounds were just psychotic hose beasts who were just out to use him as an emotional tampon. And I've always found it fucking hilarious, but I also kind of took it seriously because very rarely did I see anybody really have a long-lasting relationship outside of my grandparents and my his brother and his wife, until unfortunately she died and he remarried. But long-lasting relationships, unless it was 2 generations before me, it wasn't happening very often. And so it was, people giving money, people giving favors, doing things that really weren't smart, clever, or really relationship building. And as I got older and saw things from a first-hand and second-hand point of view, got real interesting. Some of it was quite hilarious, and some of it was quite brutal in your reality-busting moments. So we'll start off with attention, okay? Momentary attention, a hug, kiss on the cheek, whatever. If you think it means something, don't go hog wild ape shit about it, okay? Okay? All right? If you start following the person around like a puppy dog, you're fucking it up, okay? Okay? I know it feels real and everything is awesome, and you just you feel like it's the one and everything else. I'd love I'm going to love to burst that bubble because it's not. Okay? If she or he is not as into you as you are into them, because it's really fucking obvious. If they don't listen to you, they don't talk to you, they don't want to do much of anything with you, they use you for, as I said earlier, an emotional tampon or a financial tampon. If they're doing all of that, it's not love, it's you simping the fuck out. That's what that is. It's completely one-sided, it's totally ridiculous, and you need to stop it right now, right there. Just fucking done. I'm going to give you a real cute story here. Okay, you might enjoy this one. Never been to a strip club before. Okay, this was about 12 years ago. Okay, 12 years ago. I'm living in Portland, working tech support again, unfortunately, and a buddy of mine was like, "Want to go to a strip club?" I'm like, "Never been to one." He's like, "Well, what the hell?" I was like, "Let's go." I was like, "I know a good one." I was like, "All right, cool." So we go to this spot in southeast Portland, not deep southeast, but, just kind of off. And didn't look bad. It's in a populated area. It wasn't all seedy and shit. And I got $5. That's what I got. I'm not going to spend any more. Not going to do shit else. Okay. And we go in. We're hanging around. I get a couple drinks. Sit there, and girl comes out, and she's just fucking about 5'2", maybe 5'3", tight, tiny, everything in perfect proportion. Looked fucking fantastic. And it was great. It looked wonderful. And all clothes are off, everything's exposed, everything looks perfect. And I sit there, and she's all dancing and doing. There's two other guys there, and she's sitting there dancing with them for a second, and comes over, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I look at her, I was like, "Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?" Just actually, like, how are you doing today? And she's like, "Oh, I'm doing great, thanks." And she gets into it. She's like, "Oh my God, this person actually has a personality. I might actually give it, it's not going to treat me like a piece of meat." It's like, you're not. You're a fucking gorgeous ass woman. Dancing for my pleasure. I'm not going to treat you like a piece of meat. Fuck that. Here's some money. I'm not going to treat you like shit, And my boy was like, "Why'd you give her our money?" It's like, dude, I saw what I wanted to see. I haven't seen anything else in here that looks that good. So she gets what I want to give her. Like, all right. So, after another drink, we head outside, smoked a cigarette, and the table in the back, okay, I'd known and seen in movies, and I've heard of it before, but, never seen it in person, and it was really fucking hilarious, okay? Dude was sitting at the table with one of the strippers, and the stripper was sitting there filing her nails. She had a guard behind her over her shoulder, and dude sitting there telling her about his day, his life, how things are going, how things are living in his world, and he's going on and on and on, and she couldn't give two shits. She doesn't give two flying fucks. And it's obvious this has happened before because the bouncer's not overly protective, but he's there to make sure he doesn't fucking go Looney Tunes and do something stupid. And I'm watching it, I'm listening to it, my buddy's watching it, and he's listening to it, and I'm just fucking sitting there, kind of laughing, giggling, thinking it's the most hilarious fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, wow, I'd always heard about that, but I've never seen it in person. That's fucking amazing. And I'm just like, yep. I'll bet you anything he gives her every dime he can. There's a South Park episode, Butters, where Butters goes to Hooters, and one of the girls he brings her everything. And he finally figures out that she doesn't love him, she doesn't care about him, she doesn't give a shit about him. It's just about money. And she never even implied that he was, desirable boyfriend, whatever. It was just like, you keep coming around. I don't even ask you to. You just do it. It's like, if you're going to let me use you, I might as well. And that's Simpin in a nutshell. You're giving away money for pussy you're probably not even getting. Or you're giving pussy away for emotion or security that you're not even getting. Or whatever the fuck you're giving away. You're giving it away for next to nothing. Probably nothing. That's simping in a nutshell. Pussy whipped. It's an old phrase, but it's very well. It means you do whatever you're told because you can't live without the pussy. You do what the wife tells you at all moments, at all times. You take all the abuse she gives you. You completely forgo everything about yourself as a person just so you can maintain. Now, the woman version of that would probably be dick whipped. Make all the jokes you want. I know, I just thought about 3 of them. So if it's like dick whipped, oh God, there's a fucking comedy routine right there if I try. But I'm not going to. This is a serious podcast, and I'm Major Hemroid, and I irritate all the assholes. So anyway, yeah, I've seen pussy whipped. I've had friends who fucking just completely just told everybody else to fuck off because everything about this person was the one. You could probably guess how it turned out. The other person got bored with all the attention and the clinginess, and it happens to both sides, because you always hear women complain about a dude being too clingy or just being all up on it, trying to fucking, and it's like, dude, you just need to back the fuck off. Same with dudes. It's like, she's just way too clingy. She's just way too clingy. Get back. It's not that serious. Go back. Get back, fish. Get back. And have some personality for yourself. If you're willing to forego everything about yourself, that person's probably not going to have much respect for you after a little bit. Because that in itself is just, don't you have any self-respect? Can't you stand up for yourself? Don't you want to be, instead of, okay, honey, I'll do what you tell me. Good relationships are about two-way streets, about cooperation. If it's all about the one side, if it's all about you or it's all about the other person, eventually fizzle, burnout. You give too much and eventually gets resentful. Or you get it. If it's, okay, that far away, that's one-sided. If it's about that far away, it's okay relationship. It's not great, but it might be. This is where you want to be. But too much. No bueno, no good. Bad relationship. And that's kind of the point I'm getting at. Okay. If you're starved for attention, you're going to come off as creepy as fuck. And the moment you get some attention, you're going to act like a fucking puppy dog, which turns off the other person eventually. And if someone's just after a one and done, you acting like that puppy dog can turn psychotic. You can be, or that person can get crazy as fuck. Crazy as fuck. Crazy as fuck. Trust me, buddy, they're crazy as fuck. Never stick your dick. Never let them stick it in your puss if they're crazy as fuck. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Crazy as fuck. Don't do it. Don't do it. So anyway, back to Simpin. give you another example of Simpin gone wrong. Okay. And this is also an example of how cold people can be and how much they'll use you until they're bored with you. They've had enough. Okay. Got my boy. He's cool as fuck. Black dude from Compton. Working with another dude. Called him Bobby Boucher. He was a cool dude, but, kind of, not all there. Cool as fuck, but whatever. And seemed simple. But he wasn't. He was cool. He just, I don't know how to fucking describe it. He was all right. I'm not going to say, I shouldn't have to say anything more. He was cool, Anyway, so he introduces him to a side piece. And she's not a serious piece. She's a side piece. She's a one and done. And he bangs the shit out of her. Comes into work that night, just fucking chest puffed, like, I got sex, I got laid, everything's great, I got myself a girlfriend, and he's going off about it. And he comes through later that night with, and he comes in and gets a cup of coffee, and he's chilling, because, whatever. And, dude's puffed up. He's having a good time. He's proud of himself, because he just got laid, There's a lot of guys there, probably a lot of women. I don't fucking know. I'm not a woman. I don't have a pussy, so I don't know what happens after you get laid. Ooh. I hope an orgasm and a cigarette. That's about it. Maybe some cuddling. Maybe. We can do that later. Anyway, so, maybe some titty play, but whatever. Anyway, so he comes through, gets a cup of coffee, and we're sitting there bullshitting, and he's like, oh, the one you just knocked out tonight? He was like, yeah. Da, 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 da. He's like, oh, yeah, she's banging another dude in the field right now. Man, that fucking air went out of that tire so goddamn quick, it was ridiculous. I'm like, dude, why'd you have to fucking tell him that? Now I'm going to have to listen to this shit all fucking night. And he's like, sorry, dude. Kind of laughing inside. Just fucking, I'm like, thanks. Fucking thanks. And this is where the simpin / pussy whip comes into play. Instead of dropping the bitch like you should, because, obviously if she's banging somebody else maybe a couple hours after she got done banging you, she ain't for you, dude. If she's not sticking with you like that, she ain't for you. She's for everybody else. And you. You didn't lose your woman. You just lost your turn. That's all it is. I got a country song I want to write, but I don't have a fucking guitarist. I could use one. I've got the fucking song written. Do I have to do it to a goddamn rap beat in order to fucking get it right? Get it recorded? I don't want to, goddammit. I want to do a fucking country song. It's the perfect fucking country song. But anyway, so instead of dumping the bitch like he should, okay, he fucking gets with her. And she just kind of goes along with it because, it's an anchor. Someplace to, drop, weigh anchor while she's banging other dudes, when tides are low or whatever the fuck whatever analogy you want to play. You get the drift. Well, eventually it gets to the point where he puts her up in his fucking apartment. Okay. So when he's at work, she's banging dudes in the apartment rather than in the car. Which also, by the way, he ended up borrowing the car to try and keep her home. That's how much he was trying to control the situation without understanding you shouldn't even be trying, dude. Get the fuck out. And, so she would bring dudes over. He'd have the car. He'd be thinking he's safe. And she's bringing dudes over to his fucking apartment and banging them there. So it snowballed. It was really precious. It was really fucking cute. And we're sitting there telling dude, man, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck up. You know better, dude. What the fuck? So eventually it all falls apart. Like she gets tired of it all. And just how she doesn't want to be. The anchor has rusted. It's time to go. So she leaves. Okay. Fast forward, I want to say 6 months. Yeah, about 6 months, I'd say. After everything's over and done with, he's bounced out. Well, he comes back to the station to visit and chill, and we're like, oh, hey, dude, what's the fuck? How you been? Da-da-da-da-da. Well, guess who shows up? Dude's got his new girlfriend / wife, who is pregnant. Okay. And guess who shows up? Right. The hood rat. The chicken head. The side piece. That turned into a main squeeze it should never have been. Yes, she showed up with her friend and my boy. And we all sat there and we bullshitted for a minute. And then, sure enough, and I'll never forget that. This is the moment where I realized just how fucking cold people can be. Okay? This is how I realized it. Not really realized it, but just had it reinforced and reinvigorated. Like, whoa. She sees him. Girls in the car. Pregnant girls in the car. And she sees him. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Everything was so bad and it was totally my fault. And I really wish that I hadn't screwed everything up. And it was just, oh, it was so bad. And I'm so sorry. I mean, is there any way I can make it up to you? Can we get back together? Da, 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 da. And he's like, actually, I got a girlfriend and she's pregnant. And I got a baby on the way. So it's not a good idea. And she's like, oh, okay. So anyway, how was your day? My friend, how was... She just starts talking to her fucking friend as if nothing. It's just all of those waterworks and all of that emotion and all of those tears completely fucking fake. And it was done so easily and then switched so fucking quickly that me and my boy are looking at each other like, oh, that was some cold ass shit. Whoa, that was some cold ass shit. And, she leaves and everybody leaves and we're all sitting there bullshitting and we're congratulating dude on a new life and a baby on the way. And, he's got a, good job, well, much better paying than what he had with us and everything else. And we're sitting there congratulating. We're like, fucking hey, taking steps up. Good fucking job. That's what you should be doing. He's got a baby on the way and he's taking steps up. Good fucking job. And he obviously has a good relationship because the two of them are traveling 100 or so, 200 or so miles. Baby on the way and ain't no problems. They're happy. They seem happy. We talked to her for a minute. She seemed happy. It was great. And that's what I'm talking about. The balance. Because if you go too much one end, user-friendly, one-sided, doesn't work, doesn't last. Good relationships. And again, simpin' and pussy-whipped make that gap huge. But make your sex life dead. Oh, I'll give you some when I want to give you some. I got other people. I don't need to give you any. I'm using it as hostage. Sex is hostage. That's great. Like I said, when I heard the Simpin story today, I started laughing my ass off because it brought back so many fucking memories of all the times I've seen Simpin run amok. And I'll tell you this, if you feel your emotions leading you down a stupid path, your head needs to stop you, or at least slow you down before you hit the fucking brick wall. I've seen good relationships happen when two people of like or similar minds meet with similar interests. They hit it off, it lasts, and it's meant to last. Two people of dissimilar interest who care nothing really for each other except for some good sex. If it's good sex. I don't, you know. I try not to give piss poor performances, so I haven't really had any bad complaints, I hope. But I'm sure somebody would. What can I do? Live, eat, be merry. I'll be me, but she can be merry. It's great. So, Simpin ran amok. You thought the last one was great. Check this one out. This is fucking awesome. You're going to love this story, okay? This is what happens when you get out of control with your bullshit. When you think you're a lot better than you really are. I'm not even sure if I should tell this story. I mean, again, I don't use names. And y'all don't know who the fuck I am. I'm sure you could find out if you really wanted to. But, you know, you all don't know who I am. You don't know the life I've lived. And you don't know the people I've known. So, you know, that's part of the reason why I don't use names. You don't need to know these people. You know, these are stories of the life I've had and the lives I've seen. It'd be just the same as you. You know, I'm not going to use you until long past the time I've ever known you. You know, I don't try to use current shit because those people are probably still alive. The others are probably still alive too, but, you know, they're like, oh, if they heard this, in the unlikely event that they actually heard this, if their lives are far superior than what it used to be, they'll be like, oh, I remember those days. Whew. So glad I'm out of those. So glad I'm better off. I'll applaud you. Straight the fuck up. I always want people to get better. Taking shits on people and fucking over. I don't like doing that. It's fucking bullshit. It makes life miserable for everyone around you, and that's the reason. That's another reason why I'm here talking about simping and being pussy whipped and dick whipped. You know, it makes your life better to get with someone who actually respects you as much as you respect them, versus it being so one-sided that it's just a stupid, resentful, horseshit relationship that ends poorly. If it ends in a nightmarish way. Suicide is not a solution for your simpishness. That's not the one I was laughing at. That one was, I'll get to that one after this, but this one, it's kind of pertinent because this is another situation where simping is run amok and your emotions are kind of your enemy at times. Knew a girl a long time ago who, gorgeous, intelligent, pretty as fuck. And she was with her boyfriend. They were long time together. And she broke up with his ass. And he couldn't take it. Couldn't deal with it. Couldn't live with it. So he finds a spot and he kills himself. Number one, as I just said, suicide is not a solution. Number two, there are others. The one that you're falling over lust into with is, and the one that's fucking with you and abusing you and just dicking you over or pussing you over, whatever the fuck. There are others. You don't have to stick with that one that shits on you all the fucking time. You go find betters. You can. You got to believe in yourself and you can do it. You just have to say, no, I'm done. I'm good. I'm out. If you got to walk away, walk away. You know, why continue to fight a losing battle, especially when you're fighting against yourself? You know, you don't need to destroy yourself over lost poontang or lost dick. You don't need to. You can move on. You can find a new one. They're all out there. You know, doesn't matter which way you go. They're all out there. New ones, different ones, better ones. You know, when you find the right one, the one that treats you with the right respect, and you treat them with the right respect, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship, yeah, that's what you should be striving for. And if you can't find it with this one, move on to the next one. Have you ever gone to a bar to try and hit on someone? Have you ever tried? Because it's you think it's hard, but it's not. Hitting on someone, if you get rejected, you get rejected. Okay, cool. Have a good one. Turn to their friend. Let them know it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes I get pissed. Sometimes they get pissed. How fucking dare you hit on my friend? It's like, you said no. She looks like she's single. Are you single? Yes, I'm single. Okay, well, cool. Then I'm going to hit on her for a minute. She's a perceptive and you're not. Cool. There are others. There are others. Don't kill yourself because somebody dumped you, you fucking moron. There are others. Why do that? Why? I understand why to a certain extent, but I'm just like, dude, go listen to some Simpkins. They'll teach you how to fucking deal with this shit. How to just, how to prep you up when you get there. So that way you're not as fucking shocked when it happens and you're just like, ah! You're like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Oh, okay. I get it now. And then next, move forward, find better ones. Just do it. Just fucking move on. But the other one that and again, these are all real. The names are redacted to protect the humanity involved. But so one of my coworkers has long time ago, almost 20 years at this point too. Nice. Sorry about that. So I got a coworker whose wife is a stripper / hooker. Okay. And the backstory behind that is that he figured out that she's okay. Remember the stripper I told you about earlier? She wasn't tiny. She wasn't 5 foot. She was 5'3". So she was, this one was 5 foot, really tight and tiny. And, A's, maybe B's at the, maybe. I mean, she was maybe 90 to 100 pounds, maybe. And cute little thing, face not great, but body was fucking great. Anyway, he figured out that it would be a great idea to get her into stripping because she looks great, she's got a great body, and she's going to make a ton of fucking money. So he gets her into stripping. Well, then, I'm not sure which one of them got the bright idea that, she figured out, she was making pretty good money on the stripping, and she figured out that she could make a lot more money doing side projects. Now, whether he knew about it and it was his idea or it was her idea, I'm not sure which. But I know what the end result was when it got started and how it was when I was finished in this particular scenario. He thought he could maintain the edge on the relationship. Obviously, he didn't. She figured out very quickly just how much money she was bringing in. And once she realized that and just how minuscule what he was bringing in, yeah, she took over the fucking relationship completely. To the point where on their anniversary, he comes home with flowers to celebrate. And she is in their bed riding a dude. And he walks in the door. She stops, turns around and says, "Get the fuck out of the room and close the goddamn door. Then go downstairs and sit on the couch and wait for me to get done." He does it. That's pussy whipped. No self-respecting person, I don't care, man or woman, should ever have to take that shit. That's the moment where you should walk the fuck out and never look back. They also had a kid together too, so that didn't help. But yeah, he did what he was told. And when we found out about that shit, yeah, we lost all respect for him as a man, as a human being, really. You know, he'd talk shit. We just kind of look at him. You know, I even, got pissed off at him because he opened his mouth and talked some shit. I had to be told, hey, I had to be reminded. I was like, hey, dude, remember what his old lady does to him? Why are you fucking stressing what that stupid bastard has to say? I was like, oh, yeah, good point. Problem solved. Emotionalism must be restrained. In times of stupid people saying stupid things, there's no need for you to add some stupidity in and make one large fucktard sandwich. No fucktard salad for today. Now, I'm saying all of this. I'm saying all of this because I want you to learn. I want you to grow. And if growing means getting the fuck away from a really shitty relationship, it's a good idea. Someone's fucking you over in the relationship. You probably shouldn't be there and need to leave. If you're fucking yourself over in the relationship, you probably should stop and get the fuck out. Wake the fuck up, wake the fuck up, get the fuck out and wake the fuck up. Or wake the fuck up, then get the fuck out. Either way it goes, you should do fucking both. Because I am tired of seeing dumb motherfuckers get into stupid relationships when they are just dumb and blind and don't fucking get it. They don't know how to read the room. If she's a one and done or he's a one and done, treat it as such. Oh, it's some dick. Oh, it's some pussy. Let me fuck it and get on. If one side is doing that and the other side grabs emotions, guess what? Bad things happen. He or she becomes crazy, clingy, and starts fucking with things in your life. And that is not what you want, is it? You like your nice, calm, clean little life. Yes, you do. But if you do stupid shit and make stupid decisions, guess what? Simpin is a stupid decision. You should never sell or sacrifice your own dignity and self-respect for a piece of ass. Never, ever, ever. And if you feel yourself doing it, get the fuck out. That's all I got for you today. Don't ever sell your soul and your self-respect for a piece of ass.